Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks for joining me, as always. Oh, my goodness, guys. Can you feel the energies that are at play right now? I have been just zinging all week long, well, since last week, but with Mars moving into Aries, Venus going direct, 5 other planets retrograde, and the full lunar eclipse in Cancer on July 5th, it's bringing about some really intense energies, and you could be experiencing feelings of anxiousness or just like heart palpitations or anticipation, that kind of weird feeling that almost has you want to like crawl out of your skin. High energy levels, overactive mind and imagination, along with lots of emotions, probably other physical body sensations that you're experiencing. Thankfully, the eclipse cycle has brought powerful endings and promising new beginnings that will begin to come to fruition throughout the rest of this year. So it's going to be a lot of positive stuff that's going to be helping us, but at the same time, there's still lots of work to do. And sure, you know, endings suck, especially if they come with a bunch of drama, but the end result will be you will be getting catapulted in a new direction, especially if you learn the lessons and handle yourself with grace and dignity. Truly, eclipses are course corrections and God's way of cleaning house for us, right? So they are actually very, very positive, even though they suck at times going through the things. And depending on your personal planets, things will affect you a little bit differently. We still have plenty of work to do, especially around how we communicate with others and ourselves. This is going to be highlighted big time for the next 6 months. Lots of triggers that will give you the opportunity to react and respond in new ways that are more in alignment with the heart versus the ego. And, you know, this is where you're going to have to question yourself and ask yourself, are you communicating from a space of love, which is from your heart, or are you communicating from a space of fear, which is your ego? It's that simple, right? If you're coming from a place of fear, then what's going to happen is you'll have self-sabotaging behavior where you're going to lash out at people and attack people and blame people, and you're not able to express yourself in a way that you can actually be heard, and instead it will have an opposite effect of what you're trying to do. Now, that is going to be a theme for the next 6 months, so it's really going to be important to practice stopping yourself, thinking before speaking, and really learning to communicate in a healthier and new way, because that intense energy of emotional reactive responses is really going to be backfiring more and more on us as we go through this time period. I'm going to be skipping the moment of Zen today since there's lots to go over with a brief summary of July energies, and what you can expect in the upcoming 2 weeks. I won't be able to do next week's show because my dad is having surgery and I will be with him all day. Any and all prayers are welcome. Hopefully, should be a simple procedure, but you just never know when it comes to surgery. So any prayers are greatly appreciated. Okay, where to begin? Let's start with the new 28-day galactic moon energies. And, matter of fact, today is a galactic activation portal day, meaning that your consciousness gets expanded, bringing about greater awareness of energy flows and information exchange, and bringing different parts of your DNA online. Stuff that traditional scientists don't really discuss regarding your DNA. You know, we've been told that we've got a lot of junk DNA. No, God didn't design us with junk DNA. That's just not how it works. So it all plays a role. Anyway, July will be intense energetically with these portal activation days on July 3rd, and then back-to-back days every day from July 13th to July 22nd, with the galactic calendar then ending on July 24th. And according to the galactic calendar, which is Mayan-based, July 25th is a day out of time. So that's a day where of just being and not being focused on the time and the here. You know, you're in the present. So then the calendar restarts fresh on July 26th. So this month's moon phase is the cosmic moon of presence, resonant tone 13, to endure, transcend, and presence would be the key themes. Let me get the handy dandy galactic calendar here. And this calendar is always very wordy. So hopefully I can get through it because I've been a little tongue-tied. My brain and the information and my mouth are not in alignment over the last like week and a half. Okay, so tone 13 is the key to the Mayan galactic codes of fourth dimensional time and to the annual lunation cycles by which Earth is guided in her solar path. Where 12 represents the coherent formation of the sacred circle, 13 signifies the expansive spirit of the ascending spiral. Without the transcendent quality of 13, the force of circulation itself, 12 can leave us locked in infinitely complex details of form, where 12 upholds the supreme coordination of third-dimensional physical order. 13 ushers in the supreme revelation of the fourth-dimensional spiritual synchronic order. The cosmic tone beckons us to transcend the limiting logic of linear time that we may expand into radial time. See, I told you I was going to get all tongue twisted. We are called to sensitize to the spiritually synchronized symphony of universal movement as it plays and unfolds the unique music of every moment. We are invited to consciously feel the interconnectedness of all life, to be present to the spirit which moves through all manifestations, guiding all arrangements of space and configurations of consciousness. We discover that we are always inherently on time by knowing we are time. As the climax of the wave spell's progression, tone 13 can embody qualities of any of the previous tones. 13 is the key to time itself: presence, simple, patient awareness, receptivity to exactly what is occurring as it is occurring. Presence bestows depths of feeling, intimate information, and guidance held within the living intelligence of the moment. We commune with the vastness of self, the essence self which transcends all appearances of separation. Every moment we are presented with the opportunity to transcend seeming limitations, to elevate our thoughts and behaviors beyond conditioned responses. By orienting in the present as presence, we expand and feel our undeniable interrelations with all of life. When we are present to every situation as a divinely calibrated opportunity for personal clarity and growth, we transform our suffering or striving into the beauty of human evolution, honoring life as an eternal journey of being. As the tone of endurance, 13 is the force of the continuum. Ever onward life unfolds, integrating all that has gone before. Here we transcend through the cosmic gate, taking magic flight, magnetic return, led back to one for a new wave spell spiral flow. Very wordy, and so basically be present in the moment, deal with your stuff, and accept things as they are. And the more that you can embody that energy, the easier life will be for you. Okay, the month of July will start feeling more guided to take action. You'll slowly start emerging from the last several months of dramatic changes and shifts, feeling newly inspired to welcome new things into your life, to replace the old things that you left behind or that were ripped out of your life, because that's how eclipse energy works. In many ways, this will be an easier month, and in other ways, it will be a more challenging one. It's a matter of how you choose to view life. You either choose to label something as bad or good, when in fact, all of it is good and divinely orchestrated. So if you can hold that perception, it definitely makes things a lot easier. Thankfully, this month brings more clarity about the things that you've been dealing with over the last several months to a year. maybe even 18 months. The major themes for the month are choices, ideas, communication, intense emotions, tests, challenges, and major events happening in homes, housing, real estate, family, parents, work, career, and your sense of purpose. And the bigger theme and the most challenging one and the most important aspect that I feel for everybody is things coming up that will be childhood traumas that left a lasting impression and caused you to create a pattern of behavior that is being played out in your life as an adult over and over again. And what that could look like is self-sabotaging actions, aggressive emotional reactions, feeling like a victim, isolation, constant drama in your life, revolving door of friendships and relationships. There's all sorts of different signs that you can have if you've experienced adverse childhood experiences. And if you're interested in learning whether or not you have ACEs, which is adverse childhood experiences, you can take the quiz at itsmylife.biz/ACEs. itsmylife.biz/ACEs. One of my best friends, Marcella Maggio, is a trusted adult mentor. She works with several agencies and governmental bodies to help victims of childhood trauma, sexual assault, and violence. Not only does she do one-on-one mentoring sessions, she also is an educator and facilitates workshops for everyone from juvenile detention centers, businesses, schools, and everything in between that you can imagine. So check out her website after you take the quiz to see how she may be able to help you. Either way, I feel like check out the quiz. You will be surprised at just how much trauma you may have experienced and not even realize how those situations have impacted you. It's very, very, very enlightening. So definitely check it out. And those of you that are watching the recorded version of this tomorrow or the next day, I will put the link in the description box. I told you guys I cannot talk today. Description box, comments, or bio, depending on what platform you're using to watch. Again, I highly recommend that you check it out. It's very enlightening. And, you know, if you've experienced anything in your youth that could be affecting your own behaviors and who you allow in your life right now, it's totally worth it to see, because it's going to help you gain some insight into yourself and how you can change in order to kind of let go of the past and allow better, healthier things into your life. Towards the end of the month, it will be much easier to make decisions about opportunities and other situations that may have happened over the course of the eclipse period. You'll feel energized from the end of July and first half of August, where there won't be as many personal planets in retrograde. So it's kind of this sense of relief. We maybe go from a feeling of having been feeling kind of lazy and lethargic and not motivated to doing anything to all of a sudden like the floodgates open and you just want to get things done. But you still need to, you know, not act in haste, really think things through before you act on them. Lastly, for July, we could see some issues with water. I feel like maybe different parts of the world will be dealing maybe with some flooding or heavy rain. You could even see something like a pipe bursting or your tub overflows or anything water related. Maybe you fall into a pool or, you know, I don't know. It's something with water was coming up big time for me, so I just thought I would throw that out there. All right, let's get into what you can expect from today, June 30th, through to July 14th as an overall theme, and then areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. You could see some exciting life changes, more like life-changing events with new opportunities brought on by your willingness to do something differently. You have to want to act and behave differently. You want to have to try something in a new way. So if you're willing to do that and you're open to doing that, well, then there's going to be some really exciting things that could come into your life, a lot of great opportunities. On the downside, Pain from the past could come up this week to be felt and dealt with. You'll be able to resolve this within yourself. I highly recommend that you allow yourself to feel and really be with whatever's coming up versus you projecting it outward. So I don't feel like it's something that in this week or two you would need to go discuss with anyone just yet. I feel like you've got to wrap yourself around what's coming up first and allow yourself to feel and be with what is, whatever is coming up for you. Lots of release happening with pain surrounding mothers and fathers or the people who played those roles in your life. Again, more things around family, career, and home life coming up. High emotions, lots of emotions, our favorite thing, emotions. There's a caution with making rush decisions or speaking before thinking. Again, all things tied to emotionally reactive patterns of behavior. And you may have already been experiencing this stuff. This is probably already been coming up for most of you within the last 2 weeks or so, and even more so in the last week, because July 5th with this Cancer eclipse Capricorn series, there's just lots of emotional stuff coming up and causing a lot of people to emotionally react to certain things, especially if that's a pattern of behavior that you've had. You'll have an opportunity to learn from past mistakes in relationships, self-esteem, money, and anything else tied to Venus. Similar choices will come back around. Will you choose the same as last time and repeat mistakes? I hope not. Pay attention to your motivations. There's going to be a lot of cyclical stuff that's happening right now, and it's going to show up in different ways, but it's going to be the exact same stuff disguised in different clothes or a different situation. But ultimately, it's going to trigger things that you should have already learned over the last 18 months. And if you haven't, then you're going to be repeating some lessons. As Mercury retrograde starts to move forward again around July 12th, you could see an extra flare-up of communication issues, technology issues, and travel issues. And again, these are things that we're already seeing, but I just kind of feel around that date, it's just going to be heightened. Lots of creative energy coming through as well, and you will feel like you're in the flow, or like you feel one with all of creation. You're kind of in this Zen bliss space. Mental, emotional, and physical breakthroughs, self-expression will be at an all-time high as well. Tests will be coming to see how much you've grown with mastering your own emotions and reactions. Anything you have strong emotional attachments to could come up to be dealt with and cleared. Lots of karmic energies to be balanced out. And guilt may also flare up. So, guilt is also just an uncomfortable feeling. So that may trigger some of you as well. And, just feel what you need. And, these tests are opportunities to shift things. And the words flip it over come to mind from one of my oracle card decks. And basically what that card represents is it's time to flip something over and turn it right side up. And this could be a situation, a perception, a relationship, an old way of doing things, or your entire life, right? So just craziness could be coming up here for everyone. Sorry, multitasking here really quick. Okay. Since that deck came to mind, I decided to pull 2 cards, and the first one is called Queen of Queens. The Queen of Queens is the ultimate true woman. You are now stepping into that part of your being that embodies dignity, elegance, compassion, love, deep wisdom, and natural true authority. Or a Queen of Queens is already in your life who brings you love and wisdom. She encourages you to be yourself, or your true self. Or a Queen of Queens will soon be entering your life. It may be someone you already know or someone totally new. Who knows, perhaps it's a combination of all of these, right? And I kind of feel like a lot of people are going to experience a combination. The other card that I pulled is surrender. And surrender is the letting go of an established position, of control, of a relationship, a belief, or of something that you have long held onto. We always have the choice whether to surrender gracefully or forcibly. And surrender is usually preceded by subtle hints that it's time to let go. Often we ignore these subtle hints, thinking that they'll simply disappear or go away with the passing of time, or we don't trust that it's our intuition or our higher selves or the divine communicating with us. And instead, those little subtle messages end up growing even stronger until the call to surrender becomes unavoidable. And if we still don't choose to make a conscious surrender, then what we are holding on to is often ripped away from us in a dramatic, sometimes devastating manner. And this is why it's always preferable just to surrender gracefully as soon as you discern the first subtle hints that a surrender is imminent, right? That you need to let go of something. And surrender requires 100% from us. And it always leads to major breakthroughs. And drawing this card indicates that either you need to release something or that it's time to that it's time to surrender to something by putting your full being into it. And I've experienced this in my life multiple times. The last time when I ignored the subtle hints to start my intuitive coaching business, I fell into a shallow end of a swimming pool and dislocated my heel and was forced to be bedridden for months with nothing more to do than deal with an employer who was less than understanding, deal with my fears, deal with my insecurities, and only to finally come to the realization that I needed to put my authentic self out to the world. And needless to say, here I am. And I always joke that God smacked me upside the head to get me to fall. And I thank God every day that I did. So if you can hold the perspective that from destruction comes renewal, it will make challenges easier to embrace. And sometimes we just have to be forced to change, especially when we're stubborn about it. But my advice is listen to those subtle hints, because now that I have, it has made my life so much easier. All right. Work, for those of you employed, I'm feeling lots of changes here, some by choice, some not. I'm also feeling arguments and conflict. I feel like this time period would be best used for long-term planning in the pursuit of your career happiness. And these times are uncertain, and out-of-the-box thinking will do best. I don't necessarily feel like the next 2 weeks is a time for action and making huge changes. Obviously, if you have to, go for it. But if it's not necessary and you can really kind of think about things and get a game plan together, that's going to work in your best interest. And that applies to business owners and, all things work related. Those of you that are looking for work, it's hit or miss. Some are going to get fantastic new jobs while others just can't seem to catch a break. Don't get discouraged. Your time is coming. Love, those of you in committed relationships and dating someone seriously, unfortunately, I just kind of feel like there's going to be some breakups. I see assumptions and jumping to conclusions. I see others working on their communication with each other to strengthen and deepen the relationship, and it has the real potential to do that if you're both communicating with each other in a healthy way and really listening and responding, right? Not thinking about what you're going to say before the other person completes what they're saying. And then I feel others are finding their voice, lots of action in either trying to salvage and improve your relationship or working to end it. So it's kind of make or break it time. Those of you that are single and dating, I see lists and clarity and action around what you want and what you need, and then you're putting yourself in places or situations to find your ideal match. And I also see assumptions and jumping to conclusions for you guys as well. So, to me, that refers to giving people a chance. Not, sometimes we get a little blindsided when we have our lists of demands that we want when it comes to relationships, and we end up limiting ourselves instead of being open enough to see certain qualities that, some things people can work on and change. Finances. Some will see improvement, some will see the opposite. Those of you that have been struggling financially, I see improvement for you guys. Those that have been kind of skating through this time period and doing really well, I'm seeing the opposite, and I feel like those are the people that might have some unexpected expenses that are coming up. For the most part, I feel like financially things are stagnant. It's ebb flow right now. This is not a time for risky investments over the next 2 weeks, so keep that in mind as well. In the area of health, stress. I'm feeling lots and lots and lots of stress. So, figure out what you can do to relieve some stress, whether it's exercise, sleeping, eating healthy. I also feel it's important that you're paying attention to what you're doing, where you're walking, your surroundings. Really be present in the moment. And there is a good caution about drugs and alcohol. It's going to be easy to overconsume or drink your pain away or take drugs to basically escape the emotions and the things that are coming up. So do your best not to do that, because that's just masking things and it's not helping you. It's just not going to help you. If you're going to do drugs and alcohol, do it because it's fun. No, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. But it should be more of a social thing, not because you're suppressing your emotions and your feelings and your pain, right? So balance that out. Just be mindful of it. Spirituality. New understandings and insights may come to you in the blink of an eye, and tons of victim consciousness energy that's coming up to be healed and released. And this is directly tied to the childhood traumas and things that you experienced after childhood traumas. Do the work. I promise you'll feel so much happier, lighter, freer, connected, in tune, in love, at peace. Look, I've been dealt some shitty situations in my life, but I get through it by taking responsibility for my choices in all things that happen to me and forgiving myself and others. So do the work. You'll be better off for it. I'm sending you guys lots of positive energy and lots of positive vibes. Go check out the ACEs quiz, and I look forward to catching up with you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.